Test, test, test.
Yeah, I got you.
Test, test, test. All right, we are live. Welcome to the J&J Houston Sportscast. My name is John Fuentes, and you all know James Ray. What's going on, James?
How you guys doing this evening?
So there's a lot to talk about. If you guys have been listening before, we would talk about the Texans, the Astros, the Rockets. But today, there's really only Texans news that we're going to cover because that's what's been dominating the news wire. So we're going to start off with the Miami game that we didn't get to talk about immediately after. We both had some things we had to tend to. But Ray, what did you think about the game, the Texans' performance, and what you saw from the Texans against Miami?
Even though it was against Miami, it was definitely it was awesome. It was awesome to see everything that we've been wanting to see. We saw in that game. Deshaun looked loose. He looked comfortable. He looked like he was on a mission. Everyone was doing what they had to do to win the game. Defense didn't look half bad, even though they did give up quite a bit to Brock Osweiler. But hey, we got the W. It was one of the like Danny just said, it was one of the best victories of the season, man. It was a relief to watch. It was one of the first Texans games. I think you'll agree with me that I've watched that I've actually been able to enjoy and not worry about them screwing it up. So it was really nice to see, man. It was definitely awesome to see Brock go down on a different level, but and do some Brock like things. You know, he was very Brock-ish, if you will. So it was really nice to see. But we're moving on to Denver, and oh my God, this will be even funnier with what we're going to talk about here in a minute. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it was nice to see, and if you listened last week, I talked about how last week's, victory, I was actually able to enjoy the win, but this one took it to a completely different level. I really enjoyed this one because they stomped out a team that they really should have beaten. I mean, they played to the best of their ability that game. Offense looked great. I think Deshaun threw for more touchdowns than he had in completions, something Bill O'Brien has apparently seen so much of that it's not even impressive to him. But, it was just great. The defense clicked. The offense clicked. Everything was great. And it was just good to see. And we talked about it again in last week's win, but Deshaun looked happy. He was having fun. He was out there smiling, doing his thing, dancing around, all that stuff. So it was good to see that. And it makes me a lot more confident heading into Denver. I'm a lot more confident for other reasons I will get to later, but I'm a lot more confident than I was before now that we're heading into Denver.
Right. It just the whole Denver is a very beatable team, but they're also a team that's very scary and plays really good in their home field. So I don't put anything past them. I try to make sure that you know we got to remember we're still a Texans team, and I hope Bill O'Brien game plan as well. Brandon, what's up, man? What's going on? Good to see you here. Steven, hi, what's going on? It's good to see you here. Danny, remember what Honcho said? Say Brock 3 times, and the number 17 will somehow magically end up in Houston again. That's blasphemy, man. Don't say that crap. Come on, man. We try. I don't want that man anywhere near this franchise. I don't even want him playing SaberCats rugby for this city, man. I don't even want him near us, man. It's so bad. Dennis, welcome, man. Welcome.
I got a lot of people coming in here. I think we're at 8 right now.
Yeah, we got some people in here. Guys, hit the like button for us, man. Because if you want some more of this stuff, likes matter. We gotta make sure we got all those likes up. Dislike it if you want to. It don't matter.
But back to Miami. I'm gonna admit I was a little worried that Brock was gonna come in and light it up because he had some decent performances beforehand. I think he had a very good game against the Bears. Obviously, they won that game. And just the fact that I know he doesn't like Bill O'Brien and he was probably going to want to play with a little bit more oomph in his game. But that didn't really happen. He turned the ball over. He played terribly. There was a turnover that we should have gotten on that stupid rule. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but that should have been a recovery for a touchdown. And, man, the defense looked great. I don't know, man. I've never seen them click with Bill O'Brien like that, and it looked really good to see, especially with, we'll get to him in a minute, but Fuller running all over, the defense. Hopkins getting that insane catch. Miller had a decent game too. And Watson looked amazing. I mean, this is the team that we've been expecting. This is the team that we knew they could be. So it was nice to see that. The defense, of course, did their job. And I'm really excited for that. But I know you have a lot you want to talk about in regards to Fuller. I've been a big fan of this guy since the beginning of the season. I thought he had some really good things to offer the offense. And you made out the point, yeah, he can't stay healthy. And he can't stay healthy. He tore his ACL. He's out for the year. So I know you have some gloating you want to do about that. So go ahead.
Oh, Willie Fuller. I've been saying it since we drafted him, man. 11 games, 11 touchdowns with Deshaun Watson at the helm. You can't discredit that. He seemingly got better every year. Again, you can't discredit that either. But what you can say is just like Clowney, he's injured every season. Your best ability is what? Your availability. And he is 5, 6 games in and he's out. It's almost like kind of watching like Arian Foster all over again. It's just, I mean, you think you've got you've got something going, and the next thing you know, he's down and out. And it's like, and so now what do we do? Okay, so we go and we pick up Thomas, and we'll see what happens with that. And we'll get more into that later. But you spoke about quarterbacks not liking Bill O'Brien. Well, Case Keenum wrote a book. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, describing how Bill O'Brien said he was nothing more than a third string quarterback. I'd maybe that's a little bit reading into his words, but it would not put it. I would not put it past old butt chill Ben Bill to make that statement. Quite frankly, we'll see what happens, man. It would not shock me if Case has a little extra hitch in his giddy up and he starts throwing the ball around. You got to keep in mind this Denver team can move the ball. They can move the ball well. I don't know how well they can move, on this defense, but our defense was solid, man. The only thing that I'm very worried about my defense is their corners, and again, we'll go into that here in a minute, and because I know we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the trade and stuff. So, but thank you guys for coming in and watching us. We're going to keep trying to do these. We're we're just sports fans like everybody else, man. So we'll talk every sports in Houston. It's mainly Texans tonight just because of what they brought to the trade deadline and what they did to pretty much get rid of a valid need on this team. So we'll see what happens, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah, and it was nice to finally see them address something that really needed to be done. Like, okay, we lost Fuller. We need to replace Fuller. As much as we like Kiki, he's probably not a guy that can start opposite Hopkins at the 2 role. So they needed to go out. They needed to find a guy, and they got a guy. They got a proven guy, a guy who's been to a Pro Bowler. Now, he's had his issues, Demaryius Thomas. For those of you who haven't heard, which I'm sure you have by now if you're a hardcore Texans fan, the Houston Texans traded for Demaryius Thomas, formerly of the Denver Broncos. I believe they gave up, a 4th and a 7th? And then, or was it just a 4th? I think a 4th and a 7th, and they got Demaryius and a 7th in return.
Yeah, they flopped 7, and we gave a 4th for Thomas.
Yeah. So we got Thomas in that trade before the deadline, and now he will be opposite Hopkins. I'm not sure. I'm not really confident how much he's actually going to be playing on Sunday. I hope he gets to get in there a good while. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how much we're going to see of him this week. But we'll see. I hope we do get to see a lot of him. But he has had his issues. Since Peyton Manning left, he's had a significant increase in drops. And that's a little concerning, but like I told James earlier when we talked about this, I'm willing to risk it. I'm willing to take, you got to take the good with the bad. This guy is proven. He's going to finally be having a good quarterback throwing to him in Houston. And honestly, he's not going to get as much of a workload that he had in Denver. I mean, sure, he wasn't Emmanuel Sanders emerged as Case Keenum's favorite this year. That was very evident. But he was still catching a lot of passes or being targeted a lot. Here, you have Hopkins, you have Kiki. The tight ends are getting in on the game. They're still going to sling it to Lamar Miller. You're not the prime guy. There's a lot less work off your shoulders. So I really think that's going to play into him having a much better season in Houston, a much easier time in Houston. And I think we're going to see some special stuff from him this Sunday if he does play. I hope he does. And I think we should note the trade isn't completely official. He still has to pass his physical tomorrow. But usually, I don't want to jinx anything. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that. Usually that shouldn't be an issue. That's in very rare cases do you see stuff like that not work out. But it's not official till tomorrow when he passes his physical. So after that, we should be all clear.
Okay, so positives and negatives of Demaryius Thomas. I'll start with the negatives. Negatives is sometimes, man, I got to tell you, sometimes he has drop issues. Let's be honest. I mean, sometimes his hands aren't is the greatest in the world. For as much grief as I give Fuller about drop passes, sometimes this man drops passes just as much. Like Danny said, his contract after the season is a little crazy going into next season, but that's okay because the cap will increase, and we still haven't signed Clowney. And I got to be honest with you, I don't think they're going to re-sign him, and if anything, they'll probably just franchise him for a team that hardly ever franchises, unless they're going to pull another Mario Williams, which is a whole other scenario altogether. Back to Demaryius Thomas. Those are the only real things that I like him not picking up the playbook right away because you know how Bill O'Brien is with, oh, got to be able to pick up my genius savant playbook. Oh, I don't know how well that's going to play into, but time will tell with that. What I will say, Stephen Fart, my boy Stephen Fart said this in the chat. His QB since Peyton has been abysmal. We're talking Brock Osweiler, Patton Lynch or Peyton Lynch or whatever the hell his name is, and now Case Keenum. So let's just think about what he's working with. So now, like John said, now he's going to a team where the workload is not too much. You got to keep in mind they made this trade completely based on they went to Wes Welker, who played with him for a couple years when he was drafted as a rookie. So Wes is very familiar with him, who's our receivers coach right now. You also got to think the athletic training staff that we have now was in Denver, so they're familiar with his body type and his work ethic and how he does things. So you have to take all that in because Bill and Brian did not go into this thing. I'll give him credit going, well, yeah, Demaryius Thomas was good, but he's probably not going to be that much better than we got. No, they did their homework on this. I'm just saying with Hop on one side and him on the other, even if he doesn't know the playbook and you just have him running just a few routes or just learning just a few routes on the fly, you got to have him out there as a decoy at the bare minimum, at least to give Hop stretch the field for Hop. You also got to remember, think about this receiving tree starting next season. You want to talk about loaded?
Oh yeah.
You got two outstanding slot guys. That Fuller, I'm still convinced you put Fuller in the slot and keep him in motion, and teams are going to have nightmares of him down the middle on post routes. I guarantee it. If you in that with Kiki coming back, plus Thomas, plus Hopkins, are you kidding me? We won't even need tight ends except for maybe to stay in and block because our abysmal offensive line. But I mean, you got to be just think about what's going on right now. They gave up a 4th-round pick. They gave up nothing. When does Houston ever hit on 4th-round picks? Let's be honest. I'm just saying, throughout the history of the Houston franchise, 4th-round picks are not really big contributors. I'm just saying you have to put all of it in perspective, not just the trade itself and what he's going to do immediately. It's not just now, but it's also next year. And I actually got to give Gain a little bit of credit. I always said I want to give Gain the rest of this year to see what he can do. Like totally judge him. And so far, I can't say anything too bad. I mean, the Honey Badger signing. Now you got the Thomas trade, which Houston hardly ever trades during that trade deadline. And it's just weird. It seems like, okay, so they think about the Dwayne Brown trade. They traded Brown to get a second and actually a corner and another pick, but that corner felt as physical. The only thing that scares me about this trade is Thomas has to pass his physical tomorrow. If he doesn't pass it, the trade's null and void, which means that Denver's going to have to give up something for nothing. And that is just going to really suck. So, let's just kind of take a pause back and just step back and think about everything that's going on. The one thing that I will say to transition into our next topic is I'm very supremely surprised that with the abysmal corner play we have and the lack of depth at corner at this point, that Brian Game did not go out and make a signing for corner. There were 2 corners out there that I guarantee if you would have given them a second and maybe a player, they would have traded. Would have been Peterson, Patrick Peterson from Arizona, or Janoris Jenkins. The Giants are in the dump right now. They're trying to dump salary. They're trying to reload, and I guarantee you, Jenkins is not a part of that plan. So I'm just saying, man, it just, you have to think about it. I mean, you also got, like, like Danny said, Bruce Ellington's also come back in that receiver mix. Like, I mean, you went from potentially a very weak wide receiver core to a very, like, I can't think of another 4 receivers in the league that scare me other than what Houston has at this moment and what they could potentially put on the field starting next year.
Yeah, like you said, I'm surprised myself that we didn't go after a corner. I really do think we could have got Jenkins. I think we could have got Peterson. I was really, hoping. And the thing is, I don't even know if they attempted to, because shortly after the news broke that we traded for Thomas, there were reports going around that we were looking at Philip Dorsett from New England, who is a fast receiver, solid hands. It would have been a hell of a guy in the return game, but I really think that they should have been focusing more on the secondary, on the defensive side of the ball. If you're gonna go after another offensive piece in the trade before the trade deadline, you should have went after a lineman. But even at that, defense, the secondary, I believe, is a more pressing issue after you've already kind of balanced things out by adding Thomas. So I really do think that they kind of missed the ball on that a bit. I would have loved to see Peterson. I still don't know if they would have let him go for a second round pick. I really think that they would have held out for a first. I truly believe that, and I think that's why he wasn't traded. But Jenkins, yeah, I can believe Jenkins can go for a second. I think that we could have gotten him. Why we didn't, who knows? Maybe Gaines just holds too much stock in a second round pick. I don't know, but I am disappointed that we didn't target a corner, but I'm very happy that we at least did something. We don't typically do that. We typically just stay very quiet and look to our depth when it comes to an injury or whatever. But I'm glad that he took the initiative to go out to trade, to get Thomas, to potentially have the biggest trade of the deadline. I know Golden Tate went to Philadelphia, and some other stuff happened, but I really think that Thomas's trade to
that was a bogus trade, dude. They gave up a third for Golden Tate. Come on, man.
yeah.
Like, you got robbed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Even for Philly, that's pretty bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But like I said, I really do think that trade was I'm really glad he did it. He took initiative, and it was the talk of the town, on social media. The whole football fan base was talking about it. So that was nice to see, and I'm really, really, really interested to see how this plays out, especially with him. How odd is that he's gonna go right into it against Denver? I mean, that's crazy.
The Wayne Brown thing all over again.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, that's insane that we did that twice in a row already. But yeah, I'm interested to see it. I can't wait, and I really do think that he's going to be a productive part of the offense once he gets acclimated.
Yeah. Just shout out real quick to H Train. Welcome, Wise. Some of the soft sports coming to us. That's nice to see, man. I see everyone coming in here. The funny thing about all these trades that could have been possible is you have to think about what you have to go up. And I think this is a good thing. I didn't want Deshaun Jackson here. I know everyone was all about that. I didn't think it would have been. I mean, yeah, he would have stretched the field, but other than that, what would he have done? I mean, his contract would have been crazy. I mean, there's just a number of things that I didn't like about hearing Deshaun Jackson come to Houston. I wasn't really impressed with that. To a point, someone said, I mean, what would we have to get a quality O lineman? I mean, Jesus, the way people are going for picks right now, and the way how offensive linemen seem to be a scarcity as far as trading or even picking up free agency. I honestly can't think of one guy that just goes, yeah, let's go after him. I can't think of one. And that's saying something, because usually every year there's like one or two people you can kind of maybe take a stab at. But in this case, man, there was no one during the trade deadline. And again, O-line and corner, man, for whatever reason, let's not address that for 2 years in a row. I still don't understand that, man. I've said it many times on the Sauce Nation that we were all saying it. You got to go O-line and corner, and what they do, they went safety and it went everywhere else except what we needed. It seemed like so. But in the end, we're gonna find out exactly if this trade's gonna pan out or not. In my personal opinion, man, giving up a fourth for someone that like Thomas, who to me at this point in his career is a true number two and can produce. To me, he's kind of like an Andre Johnson of like 2012-13. Kind of on the back end of the career. Still can produce, big ass body, great possession receiver. Again, his drops kind of worry me, but I mean, considering what we had in the stable for wide receiver, I'm content. Because let's be honest, you're gonna pick a fourth round pick with that pick, and they're probably not gonna pan out on this team. It just our fourth round pick history is even with Gain versus Smith versus Casherly, it's been bad, like historically bad. So I mean, I can't complain too much about it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, and honestly, even before this trade, maybe call me cocky, whatever. I didn't think there was a doubt that we were going to win the division, especially after seeing the 5-game win streak, everything. We finally seem like we're on a roll. We got our stuff together. I truly believe we're going to win the division. I truly believe we're going to make the playoffs. But there are some tough teams to get past. Potentially in the playoffs in the AFC. So do you see us getting far potentially if we make it? I mean, there's teams in there like Kansas City, New England. You're probably going to have to worry about Baltimore if they make it in, who honestly I'm not too worried about Baltimore. Maybe Pittsburgh. But the two teams that really stand out to me obviously are New England and Kansas City. Kansas City is on a roll with Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. But do you think that we could make a run, that we could compete with these teams at this point with this current roster?
Oh God, man, that's a great question. My initial jerk reaction is no. We're an AFC contender tops. I mean, I'm not really. Yeah, I'm with Danny. I'm not scared of Pittsburgh. I actually think we match up pretty well against Pittsburgh, believe it or not. Well, other than Brown on our corners, but I also think that we have good enough safety play that if we need to, we can double them up and not be too hurt by it. Um, I'm not really worried about Baltimore because I think they're going to fizzle out. And honestly, I feel the same way about KC. KC historically starts off really strong. They're the toast of the NFL, and then they just bomb. They just bomb out. And unfortunately, KC and Houston, they always have a history pass, and it's just I just honestly I don't see Houston. I see Houston winning maybe one playoff game and then probably meeting the Pats again and then probably getting killed again. Or if Deshaun actually rights the ship and looks like what he did last year when he faced them, or Seattle, then I would probably say something. Then I'd probably be a little more on the train. But I mean, I was just trying. I'm just trying now just to come to grips with. Okay, we could possibly win the division. I'm not even worried about playoffs because honestly, there's so much that needs to improve, and we keep trending up. As long as we keep trending up, I have a little more faith every week. But I'm still a realistic fan, and I'm still, you know, y'all know how I am, man. I keep it ridiculously real. I don't, bye day, take care, man. I just, I just try to make sure that I keep myself on an even keel and not try to get on the bandwagon, so to speak, of, oh, we're Super Bowl bound team. Because unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of hype that, oh yeah, they've won this many in a row, and I get that, and and again, they keep trending up. But what's going to happen when they run into a buzzsaw like Kansas City? What's going to happen when they play Pittsburgh? What here you go. What's going to happen if they play New England again? Like, I mean, you have to seriously think about, do you trust the roster for the not even just the roster, but do you trust the coaching staff to get you that W? For the AFC is in my opinion weak this year, and it's ours for the taking if it all clicks together. But here we are. I mean, we're first in our division, but I mean, I got to be honest with you, you know, everyone seems to be trending up except for Jacksonville. I mean, let's just look at. I mean, Andrew Luck is, for someone who has a really bum arm, this guy is throwing like 60 times a game. He's throwing up phenomenal numbers. Hell, he damn near beat us if it wasn't for a botched play by his coach. I mean, you got to think about it. Just we're literally 1, 2, 3. We're literally 3 games where we could those could have easily been losses. Yeah, you have again put everything into perspective. The bottom line for me is, do I trust Bill O'Brien? And I still, right now, do not trust Bill O'Brien. Therefore, I can't get on the Super Bowl bandwagon. I just can't.
Yeah, neither can I. I'm not saying anything about Super Bowl. Like you said, I'm expecting. I'm optimistic about playoffs. I think we win the division. I think we make the playoffs, but I'm expecting it to be the same as every year: divisional round exit. Same time, same thing that always happens when we make the playoff. Divisional round, and most of them have been against New England. New England knocks us out of the playoffs. I think they've done it twice already now. That's just the way it is. And I really think this team, obviously more than teams past, I truly believe they can beat the Patriots. I do. Especially with this roster we have right now, I really think we can beat New England. But like you said, the coaching, good Lord. Especially when Bill O'Brien's against Belichick. It's like he has something he wants to prove, and he wants to do all these silly screens. And, hey, I can throw screens too. Hey, I can run draw plays too. Hey, I can do the same thing Belichick can do. Like I've said before on the show, the man's a legend in his own mind. He's cocky when he loses. He's even cockier when he wins. He thinks that he's God's greatest gift to football. Just look at the way he talks to some of the reporters after the game in the post game conference or whatever.
Right. To me, it's like that kid, the little kid that always plays like basketball with his dad, and he's like, "I'm gonna beat you this time. I'm gonna beat you. I got confidence. I'm gonna beat you." And your dad just beats your ass every time, and you can't do nothing about it. It's the same concept, man. If my dad's in here watching, that was a shout out to you, old man. I'm just saying. So, but that's how it seems, man. And you're absolutely right. He is a legend in his own mind. That is the best way to describe Bill freaking O'Brien, man. It's as simple as it gets.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't trust them. I don't care that we're on a 5-game win streak. Honestly, let's be honest. Most of those wins, especially the first 3, they were handed to us. They were handed to us, and the last 2, sure, we earned those wins. I'll say that. We trounced Jacksonville. We beat the brakes off of Miami. But the thing with those 2 games were Bill O'Brien was still stubborn in his play calling. Nothing changed in his play calling. It just worked this time. But he doesn't adapt to games still. When we find ourselves in a funk, when it's time to start passing, when it's time to actually start attacking through the air, the man just refuses to do it. He's so stubborn in his play calling. And the only reason we've looked so dominant in these past 2 games is because his style of play calling has actually worked. He's actually been able to pound the rock. He's actually been able to get some good play action off of Deshaun Watson, chunk it down the field. Fuller burned, scorched Miami secondary. Hopkins, same thing. Insane game for everyone. It worked. Will it work against Denver? I don't know. Well, let's move into Denver. Denver, hell of a pass rush. Hell of a pass rush. A nasty pass rush. They got 2 guys off the edge who are killing it right now. This offensive line, I don't know how they're going to stack up against them. I don't know. I think that the defense, Denver's defense, can give us issues. I hope not, but I think they can. Defensively, I'm not worried. Case Keenum doesn't scare me. He just doesn't. I think defensively will be sound as long as the offense doesn't keep the defense on the field too long, like they, tend to do sometimes. So I hope so. I really hope that, offensively, Bill's still able to get his system off against Denver. I just don't know if he's. I hope the luck doesn't run out this game, because it'd be really sad to see that end that way. I really think we can beat out the rest of our schedule. Philadelphia is the only team that's like, maybe. That's the only game that kind of scares me. The rest of the way, it should be easy. Any other NFL team with this schedule, if the Patriots had this schedule, there'd be no doubt that they'd win out. There'd be no doubt whatsoever. But with Bill O'Brien calling the shots, I can't be sure of anything.
The matchup that scares me the most, screw it. It's not even a matchup. The man that scares me the most is Von frickin'
Oh
Miller.
yeah.
For the love of God, if we don't stop him, we're not going to win. I honestly believe that. Not only with our O line, but let's be honest. I think Von Miller could catch Deshaun Watson from the backside if he took off.
Yeah.
If DW4 takes off running and Miller's on a clean sprint, I'm almost positive he could catch him from behind. That's scary in itself if you think about it. They have to leave someone in to chip. They have because our offensive linemen, you can't do a one-on-one with Von Miller or you're gonna get trounced. You cannot do it. He's been doing it for 8 damn seasons. You cannot leave that man one-on-one. And teams, for whatever reason, routinely leave. It's like they have complete faith in their tackle to stop Von Miller, and it's almost a futile point. I mean, it's like trying to have someone say one-on-one on Clowney or one-on-one on Watt. You can't do it unless someone's helping out with a chip or something, or you got him on a double team, or you're running a lot of misdirection and running him out of the play or something like you just have to find a way to get that man away from Deshaun Watson. If you don't, it's going to be a long night. And Miller is prone. You saw it against Cam Newton, and you see it every year with him. He is prone to swiping down on the ball and getting on fumbles. I love Deshaun Watson, but the man gives up turnovers. It's funny with Deshaun Watson. What people don't realize is the reason why people are so enamored with him right here is because when he doesn't turn the ball over, he's phenomenal. When he has no turnovers or one turnover and that's it, he has a great game. When he turns the ball over more than a couple times, Houston is seemingly out of it. That's just, and again, that's normally how it should work. But the great ones, the Bradys, the Rodgers, things like that, the Breezes, they can come back despite those turnovers. I don't think Watson's at that level yet. I think again, he still hasn't played a full season of football technically. Again, still hasn't. So, again, we're kind of looking at him as a rookie still, even though he's in his second year. I was actually really concerned that he was going to have a sophomore slump. But like I'm saying, it's progressively gotten better each week. And this what do you have, like bruised lungs or something like that? Like a punctured lung or something? Like, I mean, you have him playing despite that and still getting better as time moves on. And I just think that if he has the right pieces and they game plan the right way, he's going to succeed. But it comes back to, do you absolutely trust Bill O'Brien? I don't trust O'Brien. I definitely don't I sure as hell don't trust this offensive line. And that's a bad combination for keeping DW4 upright. Period. And the man has got balls. That's for sure. Without a doubt, Brandon. The man's got king size elephantitis. He is good to go. He don't matter what's going on, and I love that about him. But sometimes, like you say, man, he's sometimes he just tries to do a little too much. That's just the way it works. But he's getting better, and that's all we can ask for, honestly.
Yeah, and I like what Steven said in the chat. He said, "I fully believe OB goes by a full game script." That sounds very accurate to me. Usually you see him do run, pass, run, and third and long, draw play, screen pass. Shovel pass. It's always the same thing. His offense is so predictable, and it's sad when someone who's not an NFL coach, such as myself, I can't remember if it was the game. Who did we play before Jacksonville? Was it Buffalo? I think it was Buffalo. I was calling some of his plays before they happened, and one of them in particular was on the goal line. It was a shovel pass. I was like, this guy's going to try and run the shovel pass. Sure enough, he ran a shovel pass. Didn't work. They were stopped at the goal line. It was very frustrating. I should not be able to predict what this man's going to do each and every time they step up to the line. So
that's at least that's at least I'm not joking. That's at least, if you ask my wife, she can't stand watching the games with me because I'm losing my mind because 60% of the plays I'm calling before they're snapped. I only watch them every Sunday. Someone who gets paid to do it I'm sure knows it's coming. Like again, another baffling Bill mess. It just drives me nuts, man.
Yeah, and that's what scares me about Denver is they have such a talented pass rush, and like you said, that offensive line, Von Miller, he could have one of the best games of his career against this offensive line. He really could. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I wouldn't be surprised if he had 3 or 4 sacks in this game. I'm really scared for Deshaun's health when he goes up against a pass rusher of this caliber. Um, so yeah, it's a little worrisome. And Deshaun has shown, like Brandon said, he's got balls. He goes out there. He's not afraid to lower his pads. He's not afraid to try and extend the play, even if it means that he's going to get sacked and take a loss of yards. I mean, he can be reckless at times. He really can. He can hold on to the ball too long. He constantly says, I'm just trying to make a play. He'll chunk it up into the end zone. Sometimes he gets picked off. I mean, this is what the guy does sometimes. And like you said, it's still technically he hasn't had a full year of play yet. This is kind of still his rookie year. He hasn't played a full I don't believe he's played a full 16 games yet. Maybe he just played his 16th. I'm not sure. But this is still technically his rookie season in a way. His first year got cut short. He's still learning. He's still playing against, some of the best guys in the league. He's still got stuff to learn. So he's still going to make some dumb mistakes. He's still going to do some dumb stuff. But when he does it, at least he's getting out of the way now so he doesn't do it later. I'm sure he's learning from this stuff. As stupid as Bill's play calling is, I'm sure he's talking to him. Now, you mentioned something interesting a few games ago to where Deshaun just looked like he'd had it with Bill. He kind of like brushed him off and went over to the bench and kind of ignored him. Bill had to go over there and talk to him about whatever it was that just happened. You mentioned that. Once Bill starts to lose Deshaun, that's when we're going to have big issues. And I hope that doesn't happen. I really don't. But I'm not convinced that I'm not convinced the Texans can win a Super Bowl with this guy coaching. I'm not. Until he's gone, we're going to have another terrible season. I'm fully convinced we're going to have another terrible season to get this guy fired, to get a coach who's going to put Deshaun in a system where he can succeed, similar to a system the way the Eagles run their offense or the way Kansas City runs their offense. Those are systems where Deshaun can succeed, where his skills can be the driving force of the offense. Right now, Bill O'Brien is making Deshaun run his playbook. He's making Deshaun fit into his system when he should be focusing the offense around Deshaun Watson. Make this guy look like the stud he was in Clemson, the reason you traded up to draft this guy, and make him the face of your organization. And I don't think he's going to be doing that anytime soon. I think it's going to take another terrible season. He's going to get him fired, to bring in a coach, hopefully bring in a coach who knows what he's doing. Because the Texans haven't had good luck with coaches in ever. So, yeah, man, Denver is scary. I'm really not sure what to think of the game. If you asked me to give you a prediction right now, I couldn't. I think it's 50-50 right now, honestly. The defense is what really scares me. Our defense being on the field too long scares me. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to steal a quote from Bill O'Brien. I don't know.
Yeah, so what's your prediction, man? We got to give you, we do it every week.
Yeah. You go first, and I don't know, man. I'm still racking my brain around it.
All right, so I was pretty close last week, right? I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember what you predicted, actually. I think we both predicted a little bit of a, not blowout, but the Texans win by a few.
Yeah, I said 21. I said 21-27, something like that.
Okay.
I was something like that, but I was way off on the on the home points, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I honestly, I'm expecting a little tougher game. Quite frankly, lighter air, thinner air, I should say. Thinner air in Denver, harder to breathe, harder to run. Some Houston players may not be used to that. I gotta give him the edge though. So I would probably say, I'll say 30-23
Okay,
is what I'll go. Houston.
that was close. That's close to mine. I was gonna say 31-27.
Okay.
I was gonna
Well, there you
say
go.
31-27 Houston.
Right.
I have faith that they can beat these guys. I do. It's just Von Miller, honestly, can be the game changer. He can. I mean, he can completely shut down this offense, just bulldozing Houston's offensive line,
Right.
and possibly hurting Deshaun. I hope that doesn't
Yeah.
happen, but it's very possible with this offensive line. That was the Denver KC score.
Oh, was it? I didn't even know that. That's
I
interesting.
don't know if he's referring to yours or mine, but yeah.
Friend of mine, actually.
Okay, but yeah. I don't know, man. I think if the offense can get rolling, if Deshaun can get the ball out of his hands quickly, I think we'll be all right. We can beat this team. We can. But like I said, the offensive line play calling, that's what's going to make or break us.
Right. So for those who are new to our channel, we're coming up on a bye week in a couple weeks, right? Yeah, we got a
Yeah,
bye week coming up.
I think it's after this game.
We're gonna keep doing we're gonna keep doing live podcasts basically for the most part all the way up to the bye week, and then we have something special planned for the bye week.
I've been looking forward to this forever.
It is awesome. So we're gonna have kind of a draft, so to speak. We're doing NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball all-time draft team. It's going to be a roundtable draft. We're going to have rules to it. We're going to have the live chat going. You know, we kind of vote on whose team thinks they can take out the other team. But there's going to be rules to it. There'll be stipulations. You know, like you can't have like Earl, you know, Earl Campbell playing fullback. You know, you can't have Terrell Owens playing tight end. You know,
Can I have Aaron Hernandez?
Yeah. So I mean, you know, we're gonna have so that's coming up, and I think that's gonna be a blast because there is no. It's not about who's gonna win it. It's just about how you're gonna put your team together. Yeah. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what's going on with that, but we're gonna have suggestions. And subscribe to our channel. Leave comments in this section below about maybe some of the rules that you guys would want to see. We'll take them into consideration, and then we'll have a list of rules, and then we'll have our draft. I know John is probably doing research because that's just the kind of guy he is. I've already kind of got mine in my head already, but you always got to have a backup plan in case he takes my Joes. So, you know, I got to make sure I got it going. Yeah, you know, yeah. Aaron Hernandez will not be a draft choice. Good God, Brandon, come on, man. I love it. Yeah, but it's going to be things like that that are going to be funny because you're gonna have two jamokes on stream that are gonna do something stupid and say something like Matt Schaub or like, you know, someone, you know, or they'll probably like say, I don't know, like Morton Anderson as the punter or something like that. You know what I mean? Like some outlandish crap, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We can't wait to do it. I know he's gearing up. I can see it in his face. He's gearing up, getting stuff ready to go.
I have half my offensive line
I got
already.
my list. You know how I am about my list. I always do my research and stuff. So we're looking forward to it. But we're gonna bring some more Houston talk coming. Astros. We didn't do Astros or Rockets because let's be frank, there's really not too much going on with either or. I mean, the Astros free agents were released and it was who we thought it would be. I mean, you know, we could sit there and go about who we think would be good free agent acquisitions, but to be honest with you, it all depends on who's released. Will depend on what what we want to go to, and we can have hypotheticals and stuff like that. But we thought the Demaryius Thomas thing, plus we missed the Miami podcast because we had personal things going on, plus the Denver chat coming up. So we wanted to do all that today, guys, and we want to thank you for coming out and coming to our live stream and talking with us. And I think, John, if you're okay with it, we'll do about 5 or 10 minutes of just ask questions. We'll just answer questions.
Oh yeah, sure.
From the chat and see what they want to do. Just kind of go from there. So you guys, so in the chat, if you have any questions, football related or not, it don't matter. You know what? Open forum, dude. This is open line Friday, like Rush Limbaugh would say. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, leave a question in the chat. Actually, kind of hashtag who it's directed to, whether John or myself, and then we'll just answer those questions. So we'll open it up for about 5 minutes. So y'all go ahead and go.
Yep. I don't want to leave any dead air here, so we can just keep talking until we get a question. Yeah. But as far as that fantasy draft goes, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I can't wait. Like you said, the wheels are already turning. I'm already and there's going to be debates, which I think is going to be the best part of it. I'm sure you'll have someone that you pick up at quarterback. I'm sure, we'll debate on who we think's the greatest of all time and whatnot. Okay, Brandon, let's see what do you think of the O-line playing well these past couple weeks? You're the guy who is the O-line expert of the show, so I'll delegate that one to you.
And why you got to throw that at me, man? All right. Yeah, no, I got it. No. Well, Brandon knows. Brandon's been on my feed for quite some time. He's been following me for a little bit. So, Brandon, I will say the last couple weeks I am impressed but not content. To me, it's what an NFL offensive line should be. Mm-hmm. So, for me to be overly excited about it, sure. I mean, I'm happy to see what they've done for the last couple of weeks, but let's face it, they haven't faced an elite pass rusher like Von Miller, and that's what scares me. So I will find out this week, and I'll give my opinions. Last two games, honestly, the irony is the last two games I didn't watch the offensive line very much, but this next game I will be, and it seems like every time I watch the offensive line, they do really horrible, and I got a lot to say about it. So then again, maybe I shouldn't watch the O-line because I want them to do good. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
H-Train says, our defense is 8th. Where do you think it ranks by week 16? I guess we can both kind of answer that one. Personally, with the schedule we have, I see our defense playing pretty well throughout the rest of the season. I would say it stays in the top 10. Not sure about top 5, maybe right at 5th, but we have the potential to go as far as 1 if we're being fully honest. It just depends on how if this team can play to their capabilities. I'm gonna stick to top 10. You know what? I'll go 5. I'll go right at the border of top 5. I think we finished the season heading into the playoffs a top 5 defense. You got J.J. Watt, Davian Clowney. If everyone can stay healthy, stay together. Honey Badger's doing his thing. Kareem Jackson, the secondary is just dealing with injuries right now. But, everyone, for the most part, has been playing pretty well on defense. I don't have much to complain about right now on defense. Sure, we needed to address it in the trade, deadline, but we didn't. We're going to have to roll what we got. But, yeah, I think with the schedule, with the competition we're going up against the rest of the season, I believe we cracked top 5 by week 16.
I guess I have to answer now.
You do. Judging by your face, I'm guessing you don't agree.
No. I say we're top 15, if not 15.
Really? Even with the competition we have the rest of the way?
Yeah. Even with the competition we have the rest of the way. Because you got to think, we're talking about total defense, right? Total defense, and we're going to go up against pass-happy teams coming up. I don't have faith in our secondary. I have faith in our let me phrase this. I have faith in our safeties, but our corner play is going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And unless Whitney Merciless, which is starting to turn around like I said he would this season, I called that one too.
And where does he make his plays all the time?
On the weak side, boy, I know my shit. What can I say? So I'm just saying, to me, I say 15th, honestly. So
that's understandable.
Dennis has got one. Who's your favorite Texans player right now? Oh, bro, you can have that one.
That's a tough one, man. It's hard not to say Deshaun Watson. I mean, for me at least, it's hard. It's hard not to pick him, but I won't go the easier. I feel like Deshaun's the easy route. I'll say Hopkins. I'll say DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins is playing his ass off. I truly believe that he gets overlooked in the conversation for best receiver in the league. The man has glue for hands. I wouldn't be surprised if you find some stickum on those gloves. I really wouldn't. That he makes some of the most insane catches, and they're always overturned. By the way, the ones that that are the most ridiculous are always overturned. But he has the capability of making some insane grabs. I mean, I'll match him up against any cornerback in the league. I'm taking Hopkins. I love the dude. He plays his ass off. He's not cocky, but he's confident. He walks a very thin line, but he's very confident in himself, and I like that. Just listen to some of the stuff he says after games. Listen to his post game press conferences. They're hilarious. I think he said something about the catch being overturned. I think he made a bunch of people laugh, albeit I think the reporters were just kissing his ass by laughing. But he said someone owes me an apology for the catch, and I thought that was pretty funny. But right now my favorite player would have to be Hopkins.
Huge, man. It's like, come on, like how do you do that? How do you even think to do that? Give me a break, man.
Well, who's your favorite Texan, James?
My favorite Texans player, and it's because
Bill O'Brien.
is Jadeveon Clowney.
Wow.
Yeah, no, Will Fuller. No, absolutely not. Yeah.
I'm never going to hear the end of that one, by the way. He's going to keep bringing that up the rest of the season.
And it's going to be it's so good. So good. So what I'm going to do is I want to say, because I'm a homer for him, and I scouted him immensely. And when we drafted him, I freaked out and couldn't believe it. And even though he's kind of banged up right now, is Zach Cunningham. Zach Cunningham is my favorite. I think his potential is through the roof. I think he's so versatile that Rack doesn't know what the hell to do with him. Sometimes he's at weak outside. Sometimes he's at strong. Sometimes he's at mid. Sometimes, dude, they even had him playing slot. I'm not shitting you. They had him playing slot a couple times. That's so versatile as a linebacker. It's ridiculous. And I've been saying it when we drafted him. This guy, man, you give him a couple years, and he's going to put it all together and be outstanding. As a matter of fact, a couple of our wins have become key stops because of what he did on the field. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. But right now, Zach Cunningham is my favorite, followed closely by Whitney Merciless. And I like Whitney because he's been here so long, and I'm so familiar with his skill set. And I don't think he gets a lot of praise for what he does out of position that he's playing. He plays such a good strong side outside backer, and he's overshadowed by Clowney and Watt so much that you forget he's there. And I think that's an advantage for him. But again, it's like I tell you guys, when you put him on the weak side versus the strong side, he can set the edge on the strong side like no one's business. But you put him on the weak side, and in my personal opinion, he's a better pass rusher than Clowney is. Hands down. Yeah. Not better than JJ, but definitely better than Clowney. His moves are incredible, man.
Brandon asked, would you bring back Kevin Johnson from IR? I would cut Kevin Johnson if I could. But, James, would you bring back Kevin Johnson from IR?
Hell no. Not only would I not bring him back, but I would try to find someone to trade a 7th-round pick for his ass. Like, I don't want him. He was a very big Rick Smith blow. Rick Smith dropped that one big time. Meanwhile, Marcus Peters could have been on this team and probably would still be here. And I'm just saying, you had hell no. I don't want Kevin Johnson anywhere near my lineup. To me, he's like cancer. He just spreads, dude. It's like look what happened. JJ got hurt. It's because he's watching Kevin Johnson. I don't know. The guy just I never liked Kevin Johnson. I said it then. I was like, dude, Kevin who? Like, no one knew who the hell the dude was. It was kind of a reach pick if you think about it.
Yeah. Dennis, do you remember you wanted to trade JJ? Still want to do that? I'm assuming he's talking to you because this is the first time they're talking to me.
Dennis is talking shit right now. That's fine. I'll take the hit on this one.
Yeah.
Do I still want to trade JJ? No. I don't want to trade JJ away, but I will say this: if JJ gets severely hurt and is out for the rest of the season, yes, I would want to trade him because he's become a liability. I would tell you this: I would rather trade Jadeveon Clowney or Will Fuller over JJ right now.
Yeah.
And the only reason I was even saying trade JJ in the first place is because no one thought he would come back and do what he's doing.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
To be honest, quite frankly, JJ wants a lot of things, but what I will say is his tenacity and his will to overcome adversity is ridiculous. I have never seen anyone, dude. I've played defensive line. For your back and your knee to be completely out of whack and to come back and produce at the level you're producing at is retarded. It's unheard of, and it's frankly the guy's a machine. He's a machine. It's insane.
Yeah. H Train has a question that we've talked about before, but we'll address it again. And if you've listened to the podcast before, you know who I want. But H Train asks, prediction on our next coach. Who do you think it will be or should be? Like I said earlier, I don't think that there's going to be a coaching change until we implode again. When that happens, who knows? Hell, it could be this season. We could lose out for all we know. Nothing's certain, but as far as who I think it should be, look, I'm a Clemson guy. I love Clemson. I love the football the football. James is just giving me the funniest look. They produce some amazing players. We got DeAndre Hopkins for them. We got Deshaun Watson for them. There's other guys in the league who, the Sammy Watkins. You got I believe CJ Spiller when he was lighting it up. He played at Clemson as well. There's just so many great talent from Clemson. So with that being said, Dabo Swinney would be my first target at head coaching. I reunite him with Deshaun Watson. I mean, you can only imagine what the chemistry's there. The guy, not to mention, Dabo Swinney has so much high praise for Deshaun Watson. When the guy was coming out of the draft, H-Train, that's mine. You're a smart man, H-Train. When he was coming out of the draft, this guy compared him to Michael Jordan. He said this is the Michael Jordan of football, and that people who'd pass on him are going to regret it. And I believe him. I truly do believe him. In a few years, I think this guy is going to be referred to as one of the elite quarterbacks in the league, and I think that Dabo Swinney was just going to help him get there even faster. However, when we've talked about this before, we've acknowledged Dabo Swinney has such a sweet deal at Clemson. There is absolutely no way he would leave. So with that being said, I think a guy that I would like and a more realistic guy that we could land at head coach is Lovie Smith, former Bears, Buccaneers coach. That is what James loves. He's giving me the thumbs up right now. But Lovie Smith, I think not only would he be good for Deshaun and the offense, I think he'd be tremendous for the defense. I think his 4-6 is we would thrive. I think we would thrive, man. I really think Lovie Smith, even after Kubiak was fired, when we were interviewing coaches, I believe Lovie was one of the first guys interviewed. I was praying to God that was the guy that they were going to sign.
I thought it was going to be him.
I did too, but Bill O'Brien, came out of Penn State and they signed him, and apparently he's this quarterback guru, and I'm still waiting on the return for that. But we're gonna keep waiting on that one. But I won't get into that right now. But Lovie Smith, Dabo Swinney would be number one. That's unrealistic in my opinion. So Lovie Smith would be my guy.
Mine would be Paterno or Nick Saban. No, guys, complete joke. Oh my God, no, not. He stole mine. It should be Lovie Smith. The 4-6 Bear defense, his Tampa 2 coverage kind of defense that he runs fits this roster perfectly. That it's almost insane to think about what he could do with a coverage. Think about this. Tampa 2 cover, it's basically cover 2. It's just basically 2 safeties deep at all time for the most part, right? With Honey Badger and Reed emerging and Kjo, good Lord, Kareem Jackson looking good at safety. Holy crap, dude. Then you actually have Clowney. Then you actually have Watt playing defensive end only instead of standing up. Even though Clowney's proved to when he's up the middle standing up, he surprises me a lot when he gets in the backfield as well as he does. But Lovey would be my first choice. My dream coach.
Chucky. Gruden.
Don't you ever say that. That's blasphemy. Keep that shit in Oakland, LA, or Vegas, wherever they're going.
I'm pretty sure Oakland wants to trade him back to ESPN.
Right. No, honestly, my dream pick, and a lot of people are gonna laugh at me, but wherever this man has gone, his offenses have done nothing but put up points all the time. Mike Leach.
Okay. I'm actually not mad at that one.
Because you think about a Mike Leach offense in the hands of the receivers we have now, along with Deshaun Watson. Oh my God, man! And I know that's kind of crazy, but I don't want. I really, truthfully, why I say Lovey is because I really think a defensive head coach is more successful in the NFL. It's just proven throughout history. There's not very many offensive-minded geniuses in the league that go on to greatness as a head coach. Actually, many more falter rather than succeed. So I just think, in my personal opinion, I like, first off, I think what happened at Texas Tech with Leach was bullshit. I think that was all political. That had nothing to do with the situation that he had no control over, frankly. If you don't know the full story behind that, you got Google. Go Google it. All right. But I honestly, everywhere he's gone, he's in Washington State right now. Washington State is leading the Pac-12 after 3 years of him being there. That's insane. You have to put that just keep that in mind. So I just think if you're going to bring in an offensive-minded guy, which I really think Houston would do, that would be my dream pick, honestly. So,
H-Train, just with the great questions here, a non-Texans question. I think Kansas City will fall in the playoffs because of defense being last place. Do you really think they are legit, or are people too hyped?
People too hyped, man. people with I've been saying it since the emergence of Mahomes. Even with you have to keep in mind Kansas City when they were going with Alex Smith was producing pretty well. I don't know why people forget that. I mean, Alex Smith was doing really well. And if you want to talk about a guy that gets shafted a lot in the league, Alex Smith gets replaced more as an above average quarterback more than any quarterback I've ever seen in the league. He starts doing good at San Francisco, they ship him. Starts doing good at Kansas City, they ship him. Like I don't understand it. Like I don't know, maybe he just rubs people the wrong way. All I know is that every time Alex Smith plays Houston, he runs all over him. Literally runs all over him. He has near 100 yards rushing every time he plays Houston for whatever damn reason. I don't know why, but I think they are not legit. I think they are overhyped big time. I also think that that we're gonna find out real quick because their schedule gets pretty tough. It's already been kind of rough, but it gets really tough coming up. So we're gonna find out how good they really are. So
I actually have a question for people in the chat. What?
Ooh.
Yeah. What do you think of the stream's quality? What can be improved? What do you like? Does the audio sound good? How's the video?
Good question.
Just things that we can improve on. This is the first time we're doing this live. We usually just record it non-video, so any feedback we can get from you guys would be awesome. With that being said, we can keep rolling on with questions you guys might have. H-Train, which AFC powerhouse team we might have to face in playoffs do we match up with the best?
I said Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Pittsburgh. I like Baltimore if that happens too. As far as powerhouse goes, I think I mentioned it earlier, the two likely opponents are Kansas City and New England.
Right. As of now.
Yeah, as of right now, as far as powerhouses go. I think I initially want to say the Chiefs, that we match up better with them. And the reason I say that is because I believe they drop off the second half of the season. Yeah, they had it. I think they blew us out in the playoffs, actually, the last time we played them. But look at who we had, playing for us. But I would much rather face them in the playoffs than the Patriots. I believe they probably give us a better chance of making it to the conference title game than playing New England. Tom Brady just has always had our number, regular season and postseason. So yeah, I would go with Kansas City is probably the one we match up with best. I believe defensively they don't scare me. They're last. I believe Deshaun would be able to get some stuff going on him. Maybe okay. Good. Well, I'll address that in a minute. But yeah, I believe it would. I would definitely pick Kansas City over New England as the powerhouse. But what about you, Ray?
Well, I don't know. My quality and my mic sucks. Apparently, according to Brandon. I'm doing it on my computer, man. My computer sucks, but my phone has got great quality. So get off me. Actually, I think he kind of sold me, man. I actually thinking about it. I really think KC is the better one we match up against too. Honestly, I can't believe I'm saying that. Now I sit here and think about it. It makes sense. It makes complete sense. So, see, after the season is over, what do you think we do for corner? Dude, we have to draft corner. It's that simple. We have to draft corner, and that's basically it.
I'm sorry. I'm just seeing Brandon's comment. Ray using his toaster to record. Oh my god.
This is what I'm talking about, man.
But wait, before we
take a yard. I'm just saying, man. That's how this works.
Before we address that, yeah, Ray obviously we're working on getting him a mic for one. We're working on getting him a mic. Audio will be a lot better soon. I won't say how soon because that's Ray's deal. As far as video quality, look, there's only so much I can do in regards to Wi-Fi connection, whether it's my end or his. I can't control that. So the picture quality can only be so great. We both live in Houston. Maybe one day we can do one in person. Who knows? We can figure that out when the time comes. I personally think
that would be fair.
Yeah, I personally think us doing one together, watching the draft live, would be pretty cool and interacting with everyone. Maybe we can.
Oh, dude, you don't want to do that. I'm insane in the draft. Like I don't know.
I get pretty crazy too. I was flipping stuff over when we drafted Deshaun, so maybe we'll both go viral or something.
Oh, yeah, dude, you have no idea. I was hot pissed. I like the Fuller. The one that I got the most crap about was the Fuller pick, because I got so many dislikes for that video. It was so bad. I was livid pissed because I was wanting Sterling Shepard or Mike Thomas. Everyone else was saying Treadwell or Coleman. I was saying no, give me Mike Thomas or give me Sterling Shepard, who, incidentally enough, have been pretty productive pros.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying they have the stats that Will does. Well, no, I don't know. Mike Thomas has had a pretty good career so far. So I mean, dude, I don't know, man. When it's draft time, it's not fun for me because I'm all business because I've done so much scouting and so much crap, and I see who drafts the players that I want to like. It's hard for me. Yeah. So I mean, it would be fun because you'd get initial reaction, but man, you'd be like.
But yeah, we'll work that out in the future. Like I said, this is just the first of many. As far as Ray's, quality, like I said, audio, we're gonna fix that. Video, we're doing this over Google Hangouts, so we can only do so much about the video quality, but we'll figure it out. We'll address that, in the future. We're gonna come back to the cornerback question. Don't worry. I just want to address Dennis's statements since it's kind of on the same topic. He said, "I have to say I really like these types of streams where you get two opinions. I watched Ray for a while now. Always like his take on the Texans. Now with the both of you, we get different opinions. I like it. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you for that. Ray, bring Edman in here."
Oh, God, no. Don't bring that dude in here, man. Look, I'm convinced Edman lives to troll me. It's so bad. This is the same guy that said Aaron Coleman's a lockdown corner. Yeah. I mean, it's the same guy that said Suafilo was a good offensive lineman. Just don't do it. Please, just don't do it. It's too much. My brain can't handle some of the crap he says sometimes. I don't know. I don't know. It might be fun. I don't know.
H
Yeah, Dennis,
Train.
like, don't do it. See, I'm telling you, man. My dudes know, man. When it comes to that guy, there's something about that guy that just rubs me the wrong damn way. I don't know what it is.
There he
I
goes.
think it's like that. It's like there's always that one dude at work or at school that you don't know what it is, but they just you just want to beat their ass like
Yeah.
for no damn reason other than just I don't like you. Like that's just I don't know. And I mean, I've never met the guy. I talked to him online, and I don't really hate him. I just, man, just some of the takes he has are just. I feel like they're literally manufactured for troll, and it just drives me insane. Some of the funny thing is, as stupid as it sounds, I try not to get too animated during my videos, but as you all know, when it's something retarded, when someone says something really stupid to me, I can't help it. It's a trigger. I don't know what it is. Like, people were, oh my God, the Khalil Mack versus Clowney thing. I still get hounded this day about that crap. Still get hounded. And I was right, by the way, for the record. I don't care what
And
Clowney.
he ended up on my other team, so I can't complain.
Yeah, you know what? I was right about that. And time has proven me right. Thank you very much. So, but no, man, it's like John said, we're trying to get a mic, and I'm gonna get. I'm trying to get a setup together where it's like I have. If any of you guys have watched Soft Sports, I'm trying to have like my own kind of, um, I want to have a background. I don't want to just, oh, look, my bed and my curtains. I don't want, like I'm wanting to have like a, production value so people can enjoy it, can understand it, and we can, do things like that. Um, uh, I will still be doing Soft Sports too. I mean, this is not like a conflict of interest or anything like that. I'll still be doing my own
This is
videos.
competition. This is war, boys.
Oh my God. Don't see. Now he's gonna make it a big deal. See, now I'm gonna have to go answer for this shit. No, it's okay. No, it's not. It's not. It's
I'm
really. I mean,
joking. I'm joking.
no, I know he is. He's joking, guys. But I mean, a lot of people they're really worried that I'm jumping over. I'm not. I'm just everyone that I communicate with and everyone that I do videos with and podcasts with and stuff like that. My screen's moving. Um, you know, they just like my takes, so I just go where I'm liked. Um, it's interesting to see who follows me to all the different areas. I find that funny, and I like that. It shows to me. It shows that you guys truly do like my takes, and it's kind of humbling and also refreshing at the same time. So, but thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Again, I don't mean to keep push. Oh, okay. I'm hearing echo on your end, Ray. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if you turned your volume up or what. Just letting you know.
No, I just got janky ass computer.
Oh, okay. Um, I don't mean to keep pushing down the corner question, but H Train said something that I'm finding very hilarious. I got a Brock Osweiler rookie card for sale. How much do you think it's worth?
Half a penny, like a hay nickel.
Oh man, I don't think
Oh no,
I don't think that'll be able to even get you that.
like 1 yen. I don't know, man. Take your pick, dude. Like a quarter of a peso. I don't know, man.
How often do y'all stream or drop videos? Well, typically this is a bit of a different situation. Like I said, if you listen to the podcast, it's available on iTunes and SoundCloud. By the way, also we have the audio versions available on this YouTube channel. If you listen to the podcast, we usually drop one hours after every Texans game on Sundays. Now, if it's a primetime game, we usually do it the next day. But we had issues. Thursday night after the Texans game, me and Ray each had personal things we had to do. He works, he has a family, I work 24/7. So, we had some stuff, and that'll probably happen from time to time. But usually it'll be the Sundays, after the Texans games at night, towards maybe around where we started today, 9:00. We'll be streaming, talking about the games. We'll also be talking about Astros news, Rockets news. Like Ray mentioned earlier, the only reason we haven't talked to Rockets or Astros is because there really isn't much going on right now in regards to those teams. Harden's hurt right now. They've lost, I believe, one of 3. I think they played today. I'm not sure what the score was. I haven't checked yet. And the Astros, free agents, like we said, as to be expected. So
Yep.
Nothing completely out of the ordinary, nothing too much new to talk about there. But in regards to when we stream and when we do videos, we typically do it the Sundays of Texans games at night. Bye week, we'll probably, like we said, we'll be doing our fantasy draft, and I believe the bye week is after the Denver game. I could be wrong. And yeah, so that's typically when we do it. They're 1-5, the Rockets. Yeah, okay, thanks for that. Yeah, they are horrible, H Train. They're horrible right now. I hope they pick it up soon. But yeah, that's typically when we do it.
6 games, God.
Yeah, and it's early. It's early, so there's nothing to worry about right now. When we get midway into the season, then we'll start, throwing shit against the wall. But yeah, that's typically when we do it. Sunday nights, maybe we'll sprinkle in an extra one every now and then. Who knows? But for right now, it's once a week. Typically on Sundays. Okay, let's go back. Okay, we've pushed this question back far enough. After the season, this was from H Train earlier. After the season is over, what do you think we do for corner? Go, you can start that one. I think we should have addressed it today.
Yeah, I think they have to draft a corner, man. They have to draft a corner high. They need to draft a corner and an O lineman with their first 3 picks. First round and 2 second rounds. They gotta bring someone in that's going to contribute right away. It can't be a let's just wait and see if they can pan out kind of thing. It needs to be someone that they can take right now and they can come in. Now, to say I've scouted those guys, I can tell you no. As of right now, I have not done my due diligence as far as corners go, and honestly, not a really big corner guy. All I know is that fluidity of hips, change of direction, and length to me are key attributes to a corner. I haven't looked at hardly any of them. As far as offensive linemen, that's a different story because Johnson adamantly put that's my specialty. That's what I do really well. So I've already got a top 5 list of offensive linemen. I've looked at vast amount of tape, plus measurables, plus their career, plus where they've played, who they've played. I do all my usual stats and stuff, and I'll be bringing that video probably on my stream at the bye week. I may even do one with John, just kind of touch base with him and let him look at it. So we have to get a corner in the draft. I don't really think there's many corners in this upcoming free agency that are going to be worth going out and getting. Plus, you got to remember we got to pay Honey Badger. We'll probably have to restructure a few contracts. Maybe they pay Clowney. I mean, like it all hinges on who they pay before we go and grab free agencies. As you guys know, I'm not a big component of free agency, but I am a big component of building to the draft, and you have to build right. That's kind of the big problem. So.
Dennis asks, are you guys going to do draft videos on this channel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, especially for NFL. I honestly couldn't tell you about NBA or MLB. I don't watch college basketball or baseball. I do watch college football. James, I don't know if you watch college basketball or baseball. If you want to do draft videos on that front,
no.
Okay.
So. No, I do not watch college basketball. As a matter of fact, I watch very little basketball, but I do watch college baseball. I'm very familiar with college baseball and prospects, so I could do one of those along. And as you guys know, I am always going to do draft videos and mock draft videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun and that's what I love doing the most. I'm convinced in another life I was a scout. I'm almost. It says because I love it. Like I can spend 8 hours looking at stat sheets and video and not even think twice about it and just keep going.
Yeah.
So
we'll definitely do draft videos on here. Hell, since James watches college baseball, I'll even produce some on here, and I'll just sit back and let him take the reins, and I'll just work the production of the video. But yeah, we're for sure going to be doing draft videos for football and I guess baseball now that we know that James watches college baseball. H-Train, why have only 2 teams converted a offside kick so far? Why is it harder now to get offside kicks? It says offside.
I honestly think it has to do with the turf. It's hard to get an onside kick. We used to. I remember in high school and in college, we would spend at least 10 minutes on onside kicks, on that off chance that we get there. And some people do it differently. Some people lay the ball flat and kick it from the inside out, which makes it kind of spin back towards the 10-yard line and has a crazy hop. It's hard to catch. Some use it off the tee and kick the top of it and hope to get that bounce and hope that your guy's quick enough to get there in 10 yards. It all depends. So I just think that onside kicks are an oddity. There is no real sound way to recover an onside kick. It's a lot of luck versus a lot of skill, and that's the reality. To me, I would take my three biggest, baddest bulldozing linebackers and have them haul ass and hit the first three guys that are trying to touch the ball, and having a wide receiver right up their ass to go jump up and get it. But that's not uncommon. I mean, that's a very common theme when trying to get an onside kick. But in all honesty, to me, onside kicks is so much more luck than it is skill, that it's a crapshoot.
Yeah. We'll do one last question before we wrap things up. We'll go with Brandon since he just added a new one in right now. Why isn't the NFL enforcing that new helmet rule anymore? I don't remember which game it was. Might have been a Texans game, but I remember recently. Maybe it was what was that? Was it the Saints? No. Well, there was an afternoon game that was on Fox. If you guys are in the local area, you know what game was on Fox in the afternoon at 3 this past Sunday. That game, I believe there was a hit. There it was. Green Bay. Who was Green Bay playing? The Rams, right? I believe there was a hit in that game where it was not called. Maybe that's what Brandon's referring to. But yeah, I noticed that as well. James, what's your take on that?
I think they're not enforcing it because people are bitching about it so much. I would say that's more of the reason more than anything. If you go on any to the NFL boards when they're talking about NFL penalties, in particular the helmet rule, everyone's livid pissed about it. Everyone's pissed about it. And you think about it from an NFL business standpoint, they can't win. They can't win because if they don't enforce the rule, they're inciting brain contusions and all these concussions and concussion syndrome and people trying to off themselves, and so they can't win on that aspect, and then they can't win on enforcing the rule because everyone's like, let them play. Yeah. So not only that, but you have to think about it that the helmet rule itself is a stupid rule, because if you have a offensive guy who ducks his head down and the defender is going into the chest with his shoulder and he happens to hit, even if he hits the helmet with his shoulder pad, is still a foul. That is the dumbest damn thing. To me, it's almost as stupid as the targeting call for college. You kick the kid out of the game if you rule it as targeting. What if that's the last game that kid's ever going to play in his collegiate career, and you kicked him out because he was playing hard? To me, the rules are a necessity, but there is a very, very, very thin line on what is going to be incidental contact versus intentional. You can tell if you've played football for any amount number of years. I can tell when someone's intentionally trying to hurt you. I don't know, Adamaka Sue stepping on your balls or something like that. Yeah. That's kind of intentional. Someone going strictly for your head when you're up in the air trying to catch a ball and they're not going for the ball, you can tell it's intentional. When someone's going for your legs as you're up in the air, kind of intentional. They could jump up and make the tackle in a different way. But to me, it's to me, okay, I'm about to go on a rant. I know you guys are ready, so here it comes. It's a Ray rant. It pisses me off, the pussification of NFL football right now. It pisses me off because you go back and you look at the old school guys. They used to clothesline each other. They used to tackle people by their helmets and rip them off their heads. They used to take their knees and swipe and jab at them. It was a brutal ass sport, kind of like rugby is now. Rugby, man, anything goes. You get clothesline, it's your ass. You should have been paying attention. my point is, you signed up to play this sport. You know the dangers of the sport. So you're going to sit there and you're going to pussify it so no one gets hurt or anything like that. Look, man, there's always going to be that one player like a Romanowski or a dude from the Bengals, something like that, that's going to go out intentionally trying to hurt people. But if you ask Mike Singletary, Night Train Lane, Lawrence Taylor, they were trying to get you out of the game. They were trying to hurt you. It has nothing to do with anything other than that. So, I mean, to me, it's just it. When you make more rules, you make the game unfair and not worth watching.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to come to a close on this one, guys. Thanks for everyone who's been in the live feed interacting with us. I hope you enjoyed the show. I really do. We'll be doing this as per usual, once a week, every Sunday. We'll be back this Sunday after the game against Denver. One thing that I'll plug a few things before we head out, and then I'll go back to James. If you are a UFC fan, and I won't talk about MMA much on this stream, if not at all, but the only reason I'm going to is because we are a Houston's sports show. This weekend, UFC 230, Derek Lewis, Houston native, he will be competing for the UFC heavyweight title against Daniel Cormier in the main event in Madison Square Garden. So show your support. Houston guy, man. He's fighting for the heavyweight title of the world. This is going to be a big one. It's going to be a great fight. Great all-around pay-per-view. So if you buy the pay-per-view and you check it out, I promise you're going to get your money's worth. For those of you who don't know, I am a sports writer. I do cover MMA, so I will be, plugging stuff like this from every now and then. I cover mixed martial arts. I cover professional wrestling, WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you want to check out some of my writing, I work for websites such as lowkickmma.com, mmanews.com. I cover the Texans for USA Today over at texanswire.com. And yeah, man, maybe I see H Train talking about college ball right now. Maybe we'll talk about some college ball. He says my teams are the Longhorns and Kansas Jayhawks for basketball. I'm a Longhorns fan myself. I like the Longhorns. I don't know how James feels about Texas college football, but maybe we can talk about that too. I don't know. We definitely would have had a lot to talk about for the Longhorns this past Saturday if you watched the game. Yeah.
Giggle.
Yep.
Giggle.
But that's basically all I got to say, guys. James, you got anything you want to say before we head out?
Nothing, guys. Thank you for coming in, man. We're gonna keep doing this. Tell your friends, share it with people, man. Let them know we're here, and so sub to the channel, man. It's brand new. If you know any of your friends that are watching my stream, you can just point them to this one too, because I'll be doing this one and this one. So my balls got hot. Jesus.
Hey, wait, James, do you watch the UFC? Do you, if you know what that reference is from Derek Lewis, but that's where he said in his last fight, so that's why people bring it up a lot.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, I don't watch.
This guy literally got through knocking someone out, and he was exhausted. He's this big fella. It's the heavyweight division, so he was sweaty, and he literally took his shorts off in his post-fight interview with Joe Rogan, and he asked him why. He said, my balls were hot, or my balls was hot. So that was his explanation.
I ain't gonna lie, that's pimping right there, dude.
Connor fan right here. Hey, it was Khabib time in October 6th, wasn't it?
But thank you guys for stopping by. We're gonna close it down for the night, man. You guys keep coming by, keep supporting us. I'm almost positive we're gonna end up doing a together stream, in the same room, to where there's great quality and not Ray toaster quality. Just go from there. But as per usual, Ray keep it ridiculously real. And it's my boy John, and I think we're out, guys.
Yep. We'll see you guys next week.